to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who were well. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Now, I've not done some videos in a while, It's no excuse for it, to be honest with you. Like, I don't really want my spirit to wane like that, I'm trying to endure until the end like everybody else, but, it's more difficult when you're by yourself, even though that's not an excuse. You know what I mean? But, we're all going to be judged according to what we do. So, if I'm not doing the work, or if I'm doing loads of work, brothers are going to be judged accordingly. As it says, I believe in Revelation, where, I don't think it's Revelation, but basically, Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, invited people to the wedding, and everybody was, given, he said, to you, faithful servant, I'll give 5 cities, where they were given faith, in a napkin, and the foul, well, I'm paraphrasing here, the foul servant, took it and hid it under a bushel, and he was beaten with many stripes because he knew what he was supposed to do. But I'm going to start off with Hebrews 3:13. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. And I was, you get in this lot spirit. I don't know about other brothers, but I'm gonna assume other brothers go through the same thing, because at the end of the day, everything in this world pretty much vexes you. So, if you're not exhorted daily, you're basically battling with demons, man. And if you don't exhort daily, that's a day where you might not win your battle, and at the end of the day, these videos that brothers watch, Apostle Tahar said you're preaching to the choir, and I pretty much realize that a lot of the time when you speak, unless somebody is receptive to the message that you're giving, people are not really going to listen to you. It's like you more tend to vibe with people who hold the same points of views as you have, and any brother that's in the world can attest to that. Whatever you was into, be it rap or whatever profession you were in, you hearken and you get closer to people who are similar to you, and the thing about this world is, the more you understand it through the scriptures, the more you see the wickedness. The only thing that really gives you peace of mind are these scriptures. And this is supposed to be a daily thing, because, a brother can get down one day. And I realize I may feel down, but when I listen to the videos from the brothers, it kind of uplifts my spirit. So that's why it says to exhort each other daily. It's supposed to be a constant, refining of the blaze edge, so to speak. You go gym, more or less daily. You eat daily. You maintain your physical self daily, whether it be eating or going gym, or even some people fast daily, intermittent fasting and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, this is supposed to be a continual daily thing, and I've been kind of slipping on that. But I'm not gonna make excuses for it. At the end of the day, this is Acts 5:4-2, and daily in the temple and in every house they cease not to teach and preach Yahweh Shai. So after Yahweh Shai came and gone, and the 12 apostles were left, they were preaching daily, in the same way that it says in Mark 14:49, I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and you took me not, but the scriptures must be fulfilled. So everything's pretty much laid out how it's supposed to. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, you should be a worker that need not be ashamed. At the end of the day, this thing's coming to a fast close, and you don't want to you don't want to be tugging on your Yahweh Shai's blood-soaked garment. Talking about what's the word? Be preaching your name, and he says, "Get away from me, you doers of iniquity." And we're gonna look into the word exhort. Well, I'm gonna look into it. What does it say? Hebrews 3:13. but exhort one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. And I looked up the word exhort, and it means strongly encourage or urge someone to do something. It says strongly encourage, and when you look into the word encourage, it means to give support, confidence, or hope to someone. So when you exhort someone, you're supporting them, you're giving them confidence. Stimulate the development of an activity. So the more you watch these lessons and get into it, as well as you doing it, is like a feedback loop. And I'm not going to get into a feedback loop, but when you know what a feedback loop is like, it's basically a system that creates energy to keep the momentum going. So you're supposed to be in this perpetual feedback loop where you're getting stronger in the spirit, and you exhort one another. In the world, if you look at how to be a master of a subject, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have somebody who understands the subject more than you, as well as somebody who's coming up under you for you to teach. So you're kind of like in a feedback loop. You're learning and you're teaching, and by you teaching, you learn more yourself, because then you have to explain it to somebody, and by you doing that, you have to understand the subject, and you have to break it down in simple terms, because these scriptures are simple. That's why they say it's milk and meat. There's simple things, but through that you get complicated ideas and outlooks of what the scriptures really say, in the same way that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're just numbers, but they create infinite possibilities as far as number equations are going. I don't really want to swerve off, but the whole point is there is a reason why I'm supposed to exhort each other daily. Because personally, me speaking, if I don't get into these scriptures in a day, and I tend to get into the scriptures in some form, whether or not it's reading or watching a video. But if I'm not doing the videos as well, if I'm not keeping that whole feedback loop, I tend, my spirit gets a bit down. So we do it for others, but we're also doing it for ourselves. And that's another reason why the brothers are supposed to, we're supposed to pray. If you go into James 5:16 here, it says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And I'm going to go into Baruch 1:5 here, whereupon they wept, fasted, and prayed before the Lord. So there's a reason we're supposed to do that. People might say, oh, well, because in other scriptures it will talk about how, your father knows what you need, so you don't necessarily have to, ask repeatedly for it, because he knows what you need, because you be out there, you be praying for a woman, the Lord don't be sending you a woman, because he knows, there might be a stumbling block onto you, So certain brothers may not have a woman, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you learn a lot when you're by yourself and you're confined. This is why you're supposed to pray when no one's around. You're supposed to find a quiet corner. You're not supposed to be as the hypocrites who pray in the street, because it's a private thing between you and the Lord. And that's a singular thing. So even Paul talks about not having a wife, and you walking fervently by yourself, but when you're by yourself, you don't necessarily have a sparring partner to help you fight off these demons, So it's a double-edged sword pretty much with all of this stuff. But the main thing is to pray daily, read daily, teach daily if you can, learn daily, and just keep that momentum going. Because I don't know about other brothers, but me personally, when I don't do that, I get really down, because you just start looking at this world and you know where it's all going, it's all pointless. This is why it talks about in the scriptures that the joy that you're going to receive in the kingdom is going to be way more than the depression, quote unquote, that you feel in this society, because how society is meant to be, how things are meant to be, how food is meant to be grown, how people are meant to treat and act towards each other. But people in this world don't do that, man. There's you can just see people waxing colder and colder. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm hoping that it gives somebody a boost to go and do what they're doing, or a bliss a brother, And I hope to be more in the spirit, because at the end of the day, this thing is coming fast to a close, man. And if you're out of there, you're out of there. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles of Jim, and well. Shalom to the elect.